Among the Yadvas lived a noble elder named Sura, a name to note, for his grandson would one day be Sri Krishna himself. Sura's daughter Pritha was the pride of his house, lovely, dutiful, and good in the unshowy way that outlasts beauty. Her story is about to braid itself into the very center of this epic. Sura's cousin Kunti Bhoja had everything a king needs except the one thing a man wants: a child. So Sura did what love and kinship asked of him. He gave his own daughter Pritha to his cousin in adoption. She entered a new home, a new life, and a new name. From that day, she was Kunti. While Kunti was still a girl, a dangerous guest came to stay in her father's house, the sage Durvasa, whose temper was famous in 3 worlds. For a full year, she served him: meals on time, water warmed, moods weathered, all of it with a patience far older than her years. And Durvasa, so quick to curse, was this time moved to bless. He taught the girl a secret mantra of tremendous power. Speak these words and call upon any god, he said, and that god must come to you and grant you a son equal to himself in glory. A strange, enormous gift for a child. Durvasa had his reasons, for the sage had looked down the years with his yogic sight and seen misfortune, waiting for the man Kunti would one day marry. The mantra was an umbrella given long before the rain. Kunti accepted it with folded hands, understanding none of this, only that it was sacred and hers. But what young heart can hold an untested secret? One golden morning, alone on the terrace, Kunti looked up at the sun blazing in the open sky, and simply to see if the words were true, she spoke the mantra and called him, just to see. That is how the largest doors in a life swing open. On a whim, the sky answered at once. Clouds rolled in from nowhere, dimming the day, and under their cover, the sun god himself came down, radiant past bearing, and stood before the princess gazing at her with a warmth that made the air tremble. The mantra had not been a story. It had been a summons. Who? Who are you? She managed. I am Surya, the sun, he said, and his voice was warm the way noon is warm. Your mantra has drawn me here, child, and it binds me. I cannot return empty-handed. What Durvasa's words had promised, they now demanded. Kunti went white. Lord, I am an unmarried girl in my father's house. She pleaded. I want no son. I was only testing the sage's gift, a child's foolishness, nothing more. Forgive me and go back. But a mantra is not a lamp one can blow out. The power that had brought him held him there. Seeing her terror, the sun god gentled his glory. No blame will ever touch you, he promised. Bear my son. And when it is done, you will be a maiden again, untouched, as if this hour had never been. It was the kindest form the inescapable could take. And so it came to pass. Divine births do not wait on mortal months. By the sun's grace, Kunti bore a son almost at once. And what a son! He came into the world already armored, a breastplate of living gold grown into his skin, earrings that shone like 2 small dawns. She looked at the child of the sun and saw the sun looking back, and then the wonder curdled into fear. She was an unwed princess with a baby in her arms. The world would not ask about gods and mantras. It would only whisper. Love said, keep him. Terror said the whispers would devour her, and her father's honor with her. She held her golden child and wept for the choice in front of her. Terror won, as it usually does when a girl is 16 and alone. Kunti laid her son in a box sealed against the water, kissed him once, and set him afloat on the river in the grey of dawn. The current took the box gently, as if it understood. She watched until it was smaller than her guilt, and then it was gone. But rivers in this story carry children toward their destinies, not away from them. Downstream, a charioteer named Adhirtha saw the box riding the current and drew it ashore. Inside, wrapped in silk, lay the most beautiful infant he had ever seen, golden armored, bright as morning. He had no child. Now he had a miracle. His wife Radha took the baby to her breast and poured a lifetime of waiting motherhood into him. They named him, cherished him, raised him as their very own. And so Karna, son of the sun god, grew up in a charioteer's hut, royal blood in his veins, divine fire in his skin, and no idea of either. Remember him. This story will break your heart with him. The years moved on, and the river kept its secret. When Kunti came of age, Kunti Bhoja proclaimed a Swayamvara, the bride's own choosing, and word of the princess's beauty and goodness traveled faster than the messengers who carried it. Kings began arriving from every horizon, the hall filled with suitors, crowns, banners, ambitions. And among them stood Pandu of the Bharats, and somehow the rest of the room became background. There are men whom light seems to prefer. Pandu was one. Kunti lifted the wedding garland and began her walk down the line of kings. She did not hesitate long. The garland settled on Pandu's shoulders, and the hall rose in a roar of celebration. The jewel of Kunti Bhoja's house had chosen the brightest of the Bharats. The wedding was solemnized with every rite, and two great houses were joined. Kunti rode beside her husband to Hastinapura, the storied capital of the Kurus, and the city received its new queen with honor. She had left her father's house twice now, once as Pritha, once as bride, and each time made the strange place home by sheer steadiness of heart. Hastinapura would test that steadiness beyond all measure. On Bhishma's counsel, and by the custom of the age, Pandu took a second wife as well, Madri, sister of the king of Madra. Kings then married for the security of the line, not the pleasures of the eye. A dynasty is a fragile thing, and heirs were its armor. So Pandu had two devoted queens, a great name, and every blessing in the world, and a doom already waiting for him in the forest.